When I got home to see the numbers come in, it was a devastating shock. Like, I'm a pretty strong person and out there, but I had to turn the TV off immediately.
Yeah, it made me feel sick in the guts. Because I am what I am. We were the first ones here, and we don't get recognised. We know where we stand. We always knew where we stand, Ian Moree. It's just the rest of Australia, you know. They didn't know that they were so racist, and they've just realised that they are. So welcome to Australia. But I wouldn't come if I was black.
Australië hield vorige week het eerste referendum in 24 jaar. Elke Australiër gaf zijn mening over een voorstel tot grondwetswijziging.
To recognise the first peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice.
It's about acknowledging that us mob were first here, that this land was inhabited when Captain Cook claimed it for the king.
Enshrining it in the Constitution would protect it from being changed by politicians and bureaucrats in the future.
And this is about the principle of if Indigenous people should have a say to improve their lives.
And we get to hear from real people, real communities with real issues.
Maandenlang werd er hevig campagne gevoerd en hevig gedebatteerd.
So in a spirit of generosity and optimism, vote yes.
If you don't know, vote no.
We are opening up a legal can of worms.
I don't understand why everyone's so afraid of an advisory committee.
Because this will not unite us, this will divide us.
Uiteindelijk was het resultaat duidelijk.
So there it is. The Indigenous voice referendum has been defeated.
Australia has voted no to enshrining an Indigenous voice in the Constitution after this long-running campaign.
Meer dan 60% stemde tegen erkenning en een adviesraad voor de inheemse bevolking.
It was a categoric and wholehearted rejection from the Australian public of this proposal, and at the moment there is shock, upset, anger within the Aboriginal community that this has happened.
There's still an aching emptiness in my heart that we failed to do this as a country.
Thomas Mayo was een van de architecten van The Voice. Hij werkte jarenlang om het referendum op poten te krijgen.
We had to put this to the people. We had to try something that would structurally change the way that we are heard. And I think it's made things worse that Australia has said no, and we're going to continue to probably see the gap widen.
Indigenous Australians die younger, they're more likely to end up in prison, they're less likely to finish school. It's due to trauma, it's due to poor infrastructure, poor housing. There is a huge amount of money that's invested into closing those gaps, and they haven't closed.
We rijden naar Moree, 7 uur ten noorden van Sydney. Een aangenaam stadje in een vruchtbare landbouwregio, rijk geworden met katoen. Maar we ontmoeten Polly Cutmore, een leider in de Aboriginal gemeenschap, in een heel ander deel van de stad.
This is where we live. Welcome to our country here in Moree.
De broer van Polly woont al 20 jaar in deze wijk.
Which one is your house?
Where the two cars are.
That's your house, and then you have this in front of your house. How long has it been like this?
Oh, dude, that's easy pushing on a decade plus. We had a whole cul-de-sac around there where there's only like 3 homes left now.
Without any resources over on this side too, mind you. There's no park for the kids to, go to. We had the opportunity on Saturday to make this one of the best countries in the world. There is enough resources to share around to everyone. But it seems that only wants to be selected for white people. This is the no vote here, as you can see.
Verderop in Moree ontmoeten we Glenn en Daryl. Ze werken bij de jeugddienst met lokale inheemse jongeren. En ook hier grote ontgoocheling.
Not so much that it had been defeated, but the large majority. It's like we live in a so-called lucky country where we all want to get along and work together, but this would have been one big step in the right direction that I just couldn't understand why. people could not take that next step to simply write yes.
We have gained a lot of different programs, funding that we get from the government, but it's already made up by non-Aboriginal people, and it's about time that we had our own say in that. And I think that the voice and the voice to Parliament was just the next logical step for it.
De inheemse bevolking maakt maar een goede 3% uit van alle Australiërs. Als kleine groep hebben ze weinig invloed.
We are a small group of people, and for the rest of the population to decide how we can interact with government or how we can interact going forward as a race in Australia is very difficult to see it.
Ultimately, the Yes campaign failed to connect with the hearts and minds of Australians.
Het jaarkamp had bij de start nogthans een reden om optimistisch te zijn. Begin dit jaar was er nog grote steun voor het voorstel. Maar in de loop van het jaar keerde dat beeld volledig.
We had bipartisanship right up until around May this year. From May is when the numbers really started to go down because they took a position against it. And they ran a very dishonest campaign.
Thomas Mayo.
Vooral op sociale media ging het er hard aan toe, met boodschappen die vaak niet gebaseerd waren op feiten.
There was mis and disinformation throughout this campaign that a voice to Parliament would lead to people losing their backyards, that there would be Aboriginal land taxes. All of those things weren't true, but there was a fear in the community around Aboriginal people getting more and that they wouldn't be, and non-Aboriginal people would be entitled to yes.
Het nee-kamp had ook een belangrijke troef, de conservatieve senator Jacinta Price. Ze komt zelf uit de Aboriginal-gemeenschap en voerde hevig campagne tegen The Voice.
This is, I think, one of the nation's most divisive referendums we've ever experienced in our country's history.
She had some rhetoric that was very damaging, describing colonisation in Australia as not being a bad thing, which is blatantly untrue for Indigenous people, and I think made a lot of non-Aboriginal people in Australia feel comfortable with holding racist views about other Australians, about Indigenous Australians.
You know, I'm very disappointed with some of the Aboriginal leaders that were in the media around going, no, we don't want this. You know, it's easy for them. They're got great jobs. They're educated. They've got houses. They've got whatever they need. It's the other Aboriginal people that are missing out on it that need to have the support.
Maar er waren wel degelijk ook nee-stemmers binnen de Aboriginal-gemeenschap. In een klein stadje, Walgett, ontmoeten we de familie Trindle.
I look at it this way. What has government, them Aboriginal representatives in government, done for us? It was just a waste of money and resources and people and time.
I know what the government's like. They would have selected 3 or 4 hierarchies that they wanted to be there and to speak on behalf of the Aboriginal people. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't accept that.
It's an understandable argument from some Indigenous people that they don't want to trust anything. They won't move at all. But a majority of us took a different view.
Binnen de Aboriginal-gemeenschap hadden de ja-stemmers de overhand in Walgett. Maar over de hele bevolking genomen was de overwinning ook hier, voor het nee-kamp.
I voted yes. I'm very disappointed and stressed over it. I thought the Voice would make a change. So I just thought, that it was, don't talk too much about it. I'm getting depressed over it.
Really?
Yeah, it's
not that bad. It's really getting emotional.
Yeah, but I just thought that we could do this, but when you got all Australia voting and you get from that's got a lot of stigma and racism, we lost out there. I was very disappointed that the government made all Australia vote, where it just should have been Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islanders, because it's about us.
We're used to the word no in this country, But we know that we're going to come out of this. We're stronger people than that.
It's not that you lost hope now?
No, we can't lose hope. We've been here since time began. We've had the Ice Age come here. We can't lose hope. Now we've got another Ice Age, but it's got 2 legs, We can beat anything. We'll conquer anything.